Today on the Ask BP podcast, we're talking about what is due diligence. Stay tuned.
You're listening to another BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast, where you'll hear short, direct answers to your biggest real estate questions. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forums by using hashtag AskBP. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing and other great content when you sign up for your free account at BiggerPockets.com. With that, let's get to the show.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me today on another episode of the Ask BP podcast. And today we have a question who comes to us from Leigh from Texas, and she asks, due diligence, what does that even mean? Well, Leah, or however you say your name, sorry. Due diligence is the period of time in between when you get an offer accepted and when you close on that property. And so when you actually buy it, there's a period of time in there, usually between 10 and 45 days for like a single family house. It can be up to like 3, 4, 5 months for a commercial property, or even longer if it's like a skyscraper. But the due diligence period is a time in which you verify everything. This is a time period where you go through and you find out, did everything that the broker said, is it all legit? Everything that the seller said was true, is it actually true? And so the period of due diligence is when you dive in to all the numbers and the condition of the property and make sure that everything is on the up and up and is exactly the way you expect it to be. And so let's talk about like residential, because that's probably the focus of most people here. When you're buying a house or a duplex, triplex, fourplex, whatever, even a small apartment complex, you want to check certain things. First of all, during the due diligence period, you want to do a physical inspection of the property. You need to know what you're buying. And no, I don't just mean sending a contractor through to take a quick look. I'm talking about hiring a professional home inspector to walk through everything and determine anything that might be bad or missing. I mean, these people are trained to do this. Very, very important you hire that. The nice thing is, at the end of the inspection, they'll give you a nice, big, long checklist of everything you need to do on the property. Now, if you find something that's really bad, usually if you put in the right clause in your contract, you can back out of the property if you find something really bad. Or you can renegotiate the contract with the seller. Let's say you find out that the roof, there's 3 layers on the roof, and that's not allowed. I mean, maybe it's allowed, but it shouldn't be allowed, right? Like that's a bad idea. 2 layers max, really 1 would be ideal. So you're like, oh man, there's 3 layers on this roof. That's gonna be an extra $5,000 to tear off that roof and put on a new one, because it's already showing signs of failing. So we can renegotiate or we can back out of the deal. What do you want to do? And you can go back to the seller and make sure that you're getting what you wanted. Because let's be honest, when you're first looking at a property, when you put the offer in, you're not spending hours going through every single piece of the property, inspecting everything. And so the due diligence period is designed, especially the inspection clause, designed to help you make sure you know exactly what you are buying. Usually a home inspection somewhere between $400 and $600, somewhere in there, but well worth the money. Make sure you always do that, no matter how good you think you are at construction and understanding that stuff. All right, so next, during the due diligence period, you're also looking to make sure the title is clear. You're inspecting the title. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, when you buy a property, your name goes on the record. And then the next person who buys it after that, and the next person who buys it after that, all goes down in this public record that's usually kept by your county assessor's office or somebody at your county. And what you want to make sure is that nobody has a legal claim to the property, that you will be the only one with a legal claim, which means nobody else can go say, hey, that's my property, or I still own that. That's what title searches are for. Now, you personally won't have to do that work, most likely. Instead, you will hire a title company to take care of it if you live in a state that uses a title company, or you'll hire an attorney to take care of it if you live in a state that hires attorneys. Most of the country uses title companies, but a few states, especially on the East Coast, use the attorneys for that job. And so you will just make sure that the title's free and clear, like that when you buy the property, it'll be fully yours and that nobody's coming later and tell you that they actually own the property. That would be bad. Let's see, other things during that time, during the due diligence period, you also just want to verify things like how much the rent, if you're buying a rental property, how much the rent really is. You want to talk to the tenants, make sure that the rent is what the person said it was. You want to verify all the expenses. You want to make sure that they didn't just lie about some of the expenses. You want to check all those things out. You'll also want to get your paperwork ready during that time for insurance. You're going to need to buy insurance for the property. You're going to need to get all your mortgage paperwork done. You should have most of your mortgage stuff into the bank already if you're using a bank to buy it. but they'll still probably want this and that. They always seem to have more things they want from you. So during that period, you will also make sure to get them paperwork. And that's kind of what the due diligence period is. It's usually a couple weeks where you're just getting things together, making sure you know what you're buying and that you're buying exactly what you want before you go into the deal. So hopefully that helps Leah or Lay from Manville, Texas. Hopefully that helps. So let's get out of here. But before we do, today's success quote of the day comes to us from Vince Lombardi. And he said, "The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will." I love that. Do you guys have the will to succeed? I hope so. With that, let's get out of here. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a thumbs up on this video. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher, make sure you leave me a rating and or review. And then jump on BiggerPockets, be part of the community, go get involved. Those are the people who succeed. With that, let's get out of here. Remember, in your pursuit of your goals and dreams and your real estate ambitions, don't just learn, take action. For the Ask BP podcast, this is Brandon, signing off.
You've just heard another episode of the BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forum by using hashtag AskBP. And for more incredible real estate investing tools and education, including a free download of our book, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, head over to BiggerPockets.com and sign up for your free account today. We'll see you on the next show.